Namaste. As you all know, I'm decoding Guruji Sundararajan Anantha's book, Why Shiva Linga is Not a Phallus. I think we've been through three to four episodes by this time. And today, I'm just trying to decode his 11th chapter, that is temple structures. Hope you will enjoy. Thank you. Guruji, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jinuji.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back. So, today we're just trying to touch upon your 11th chapter, which is temple structures. So, what is temple structure? What are the benefits and how it transformed to society? What are the various consecrations which temple structures does? Ashtabandha, Navikaranam, consecration, how to access the full energy, all this, all is in your court. Please
Sure,
go on.
sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jinuji. Um, in the book, Why the Shiva Linga is Not a Phallus,
Mhm,
chapter 11 is on the temple structure. Why I added the temple structure there is to
mhm,
prove that the Shiva Linga is placed in the temple in the head section. See, the temple progression, how it's built on the inner side. It is of the Devata or Devi in a lying down position,
okay.
lying down position. So, by showing how the temple structure is built, temple is built, uh, the Shivalinga is placed in the Anya Chakra and the Sahasra portion, which is the
Mhm,
Garbhagriha of the temple, the womb house of the temple. So that proves that the Shivalinga is not a male genital organ.
mhm,
So we must understand that temple, the architecture style on the surface of it, the according to different eras, different kings and the builders built according to what they wanted. There's the
mhm.
Vijayanagara style, and then the Pallava style. Many in the south, more in the south than north.
Chola
Chola
kingdom
style
and
and
all
all that. So that is more on the architecture, how it's
that.
done, the dome shape or the spiral shape and all that. So that anybody can look up and find according to the which century it was done. What most people don't understand is that the temple structure is built in a systematic way in accordance to a laying down body of a devata or devi,
Mhm.
which also corresponds to our body. The macrocosm
Okay.
and microcosm is included there,
Mhm,
right? It,
mhm.
it plays into two parts,
Okay.
right? So when we see a temple, um, what we see is from the outside,
Uh-huh.
there'll be a lot of images. On the
Mhm,
outside, there'll be a lot of images. Okay. Normally, on the outside, also if you go up to the Konark temple,
mhm,
Konark temple, the Sun temple, there'll be a lot of images of couples in the sexual act and all that. So
mhm,
always the outside of the temple. Today there's a lot of artwork on the outside walls and
mhm,
also sculptures on the top part of the temple. It
mhm,
always depicts the human life, what they
mhm,
participate in, how their life is, the drawings, writings, whatever is it, just the external life.
mhm.
So the first part of a temple is the gopuram. In the image, we can see it corresponds to the feet of the deity,
Right.
gopuram. So gopuram is the front entrance of the temple, and
Mhm,
at the bottom part on the of it there will be steps. A stair
Mhm.
will be there, which
Mhm.
corresponds to the feet of the deity. So we
Okay.
must understand in this system of building,
Mhm.
there's two things. One is the feet of the deity,
Mhm.
and when we are going inside, normally people will, give respect to the stairs there as the feet of the deity, and then cross
Yeah.
over it. They won't step
Mhm.
on it, cross into
Mhm.
it. At the same time, as a human being going into the temple
Mhm.
ground, we are also supposed to leave our physical body outside.
Okay.
Our mind should understand when we touch the feet and we walk into the
Mhm.
inside the gopuram, into the inner part of the temple, we are
Mhm.
supposed to cast our body away and
Okay.
walk into the temple as
Mhm.
though we are walking into our inner body, inner core.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what the
Energy
Devata or the
body.
energy body,
Mhm.
Shukshma Sharira. So
Mhm.
that's why the Devata or Devi lying down
Mhm.
is actually the energy body of the Deva and Devi, not the physical body.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not the physical body. And we are also supposed to eh, think and imagine ourselves as dropping all our physicality and going into the energy inside the temple.
Mhm.
So after the feet, the first thing that we encounter in a temple is called the Kodimaram, the tall pillar.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, the tall pillar, or in Sanskrit, is called Dwaja Stam. Dwaja Stamba,
Dwajastambha.
Dwaja
Mhm.
Stam.
Mhm.
Okay. Normally, Kodimaram or Dwaja Stam, they translate it to flag post or flag
Mhm.
pole.
Mhm.
Okay. And the Dwaja Stamba normally is in equal height to the inner Vimana or Shikara, the tall
Mhm.
part on top of
Mhm.
the head. Okay.
Mhm.
And then the Dwaja Stamba is either made of stone or earlier
Metal.
was wood,
Mhm.
wood or metal now, later. So when they had stone or wood, they will cover it with from top to bottom with either silver, bronze, copper, those kind of
Pan-
metal all over until the
Panchadhatu.
bottom part.
Mhm.
It actually functioned as a lightning arrestor too during those
Mhm.
days.
Mhm.
Okay. Now the Dwajastam is corresponds to our backbone. Dwajastam corresponds to our backbone, and the
Okay.
most top part corresponds to our Sahasrara, okay, on a
Mhm.
vertical format. Whenever there is going to be a festival in the temple,
Mhm.
they will raise a flag on the Dwajastamba, and
Yeah.
the flag will carry the Vahana or the emblem. If you see Vahana Moshika, then it's a Vinayaga temple,
Mhm.
right? If you see a lion, it's Durga temple, and so
Mhm.
forth, according to their
Mhm.
Vahana. And the flag is hoisted not on a straight way, it's hoisted in a spiraling way. Okay?
Mhm.
Because the backbone corresponds to our Sushumna Nadi
Oh,
and
okay.
the Ida and Pingala nerve. So they
Mhm.
will, as though our breath is going in a circular motion, spiral,
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
also hoist the flag in that manner.
Mhm.
Okay. The most important part of the Dwaja Stamba is at the
Mhm.
bottom
Mhm.
because the it corresponds to our backbone, but at
Mhm.
the bottom it signifies the Mooladhara and the Swadhisthana Chakra.
Mhm.
Both of it is there,
Okay.
right? And when we enter the temple, right, we leave our physicality outside, and
Mhm.
we normally first we venerate at the Dwajastam, Kodimaram.
Mhm. Mhm.
Normally, man or woman will lay prostrate and then offer their prayers there and
Mhm.
stand by the Dwajastam. What the Dwajastam does is that the Manipura and the Swadhisthana Chakra,
Mhm.
it subdues our materialistic. our sexual urge, nature,
Mm-hmm.
it is consecrated such to subdue our thoughts on it. It stops us from thinking of the materialistic and sexual things,
Mm-hmm.
everything that is got to do with our life. So it is a remover of that thought, feelings, and everything. And that's the significance of Dwajastam. So normally, whenever we go into a temple, the Dwajastam is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It has this, they call it the Stambhana Sakti, to stop all our thought processes, negative,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why we will normally stand there for quite a bit, not just walk through, stand there quite a bit in closing our eyes and in contemplation to the main Garbhagriha or the main center. So if all our negativity goes away, all our thoughts are subdued, and
Okay.
our mind is crystal clear, and we can concentrate on the Murti, the consecrated
Mm-hmm.
Murti, and then we try to merge into the Murti. That is the
Mm-hmm.
principle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after the Dwajastam, the Muladhara and Swadhisthana Chakra,
Mm-hmm.
we will come to the Bali Pidam.
Belly pit up. Yeah.
Bali Pidam. Okay. Bali Pidam is round like a flower shape but turned upside down, which
Mm-hmm.
signifies our navel.
Okay.
Okay, which signify our navel, and is the center of Manipura Chakra. It
Mm-hmm.
corresponds to the Manipura Chakra. And if
Mm-hmm.
you are at the temple during the puja time, we will see that the Purohit will offer Naividyam, food.
Okay.
They'll wash the Balipidam, they'll then put food on the Balipidam, then they'll put flowers, and then they'll take the arati, and then they'll
Mm-hmm.
remove the food. So
Okay.
Manipura Chakra is our digestive power, and that's
Uh-huh.
where they offer the Naividyam or the food to the main deity.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, that's very important ceremony because the
Uh-huh.
consecration of the Manipura Chakra is there in the Balipidam.
Okay.
After that, then we will see Vahana. If it's Shiva temple, we'll see Nandikeshwara there,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it's a Ganesha temple, we'll see Moshika there. Durga temple, we'll see a lion there. And Skanda Muruga
Murugan.
temple, we'll see a peacock there, and so forth. So,
But Guruji, there in Kerala temple, we have something called as a mandapam or a place where just in front of the Garbhagriha we have a
that's after.
square. That is after. Okay. Okay.
From the feet, Kodimaram, then the Balipidam, and then the Vahana. So now we are talking about the Vahana. Then the Maha Mandapa will come. Okay, that's where it's like our chest area,
Mm-hmm.
because the Balipidam is our Manipura Chakra, and there they offer the Naividyam, food for the deity. And then the Vahana is our Anahata Chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Vahana, I always say there's two things.
Mm-hmm.
One is it depicts the prana, okay, prana of the deity, and two also it depicts the sound system that the deity controls. Okay, because when we look at Sabda Brahman, the sound manifestation of sound, then this those days there was no recording device or
Okay.
sound device. So every sound they could decipher in accordance with the particular deva or devi was made in the form of a animal prana, sabda. So each animal is a different sound system, and they act in that sound plane. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very technical, which I even don't know how technical it is. I only
Mm-hmm.
know that it's different sound planes depicted by the different vahanas. So it's
Okay.
not a very what some people, the people who are non-Hindus or some people who are Hindus themselves who don't know, they say, oh, Ganesha is so big, he's going on the Moshika, and
Mm.
it's all like very primitive kind of, they're riding on animals and all that. It's not like that. It depicts
Okay.
the sound
Mm-hmm.
plane that they are very effective in, and they control.
Okay.
right? They control. It's their domain. So
Mm-hmm.
after that, that corresponds to the Anahata Chakra,
Mm-hmm.
our solar plexus. Okay, that's the Vahana, and after that is the Mahamandapa. Okay, Mahamandapa. Then at the just at the Garbhagriha, they have the uh,
Neck.
Mahamandapa. Then they have the, I think, the Ardha Mandapa, which corresponds to the neck and the Vishuddha Chakra. That's the entrance to the Garbhagriha.
That is the there is a kawal, two people, and
Two
then there is a
Dwarapalakas
step,
will be there. Yeah,
Dwarpalakas, and then
Dwarapalakas. Okay,
mm,
different Dwarapalakas with their different name. For Vishnu temple, I think it's Jaya and Vijaya.
mhm.
They have this kind of names for them. They are, when we stand there, actually, we must offer our respects to them.
Respect to them also. Yeah,
Ask their permission that our puja and our praise will be conveyed to the
granted.
main deity.
Yeah.
With their permission only, our puja and prayers will go to the main deity. If not, they will block it. Every time we
Hmm.
have to ask the permission, right? So that corresponds to the Visuddha Chakra, right? And then the main Garbhagriha is where the our Murti is there, and that corresponds to our Ajna Chakra. And on top, where the Kalasam is, it goes like that. It's our
Hmm.
Sahasrara Chakra, and it's called Shikara or Vimanam, right? So here the most important thing is we also should understand there are Swayambhu temples
Hmm.
and there are man-made temples. Okay, Swayambhu temples, um, the Shakti comes on its own,
Hmm.
right? They are in India, especially, even here in Malaysia. There are temples that uh, the deity came on the tree, and then people had dreams, and then they went and offered puja at the tree, and from the tree, slowly it became a huge temple. There are, the people built all around it, and the energy is very powerful. And there are some temples, like in Gokarna, where the Swayambhu Linga uh, grew on its own underground, and the temple has been on top, built on top till today.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that as Swayambhu temples means the Shakti comes on its own, and then people are notified through dreams or whatever in their trance, and then they go and do puja and build the temples. They are very powerful temples. And then, of course, society comes together, and man-made temples are there where they carefully choose the land. Land is going to be built in. No, there are rules for the land. If the land has termite nest or
Hmm.
even ant hill, they won't build temple there. They
Why?
It's not, the land is dry. It's not good land. See, ant and termite soil, they build on land that is not good land. It's dry land. There's no water there. If not, a lot of water places they won't build, and because of that, the land becomes not good land. It's not good for people to live around there. So what they will do those days is they will allow cows to be there 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So the cow dung and cow urine purifies the land.
Land.
Because of the cow dung and the urine, all these things will go away. They will move. The ants and termites will move. So it's old technology to
Guruji,
purify.
this termite pit, no, I've seen in Karnataka and all. They do kind of a puja and all these things for this
For
termite
them,
pits.
right?
Yeah.
But these are the Adivasis, right? They do.
No, no, the normal people.
They
Now
do.
there is no space in Bangalore and all. And when I was there, these vacant lands, they have this termite pits, right?
Ah,
I even seen snake come out of that
okay,
pit.
yeah, that's why.
So they do all this kind of, and they will make it as a small temple or a
They do.
puja. And
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'm not aware of that. I didn't know. Normally, is they will try to clear it. If
Mhm.
there are snakes, they will call the snake catchers to come and clear it normally. Go and leave them. They won't kill them. Move
Mhm.
them away. for safety purposes. But letting the cow graze and the cow dung and cow urine purifies land
Okay.
over
Okay.
some time. It's a slow
Sure.
process.
Sure.
Then the grass will grow and all that. So these two main differences in the temples.
Hmm.
So once they've chosen that and they've done the cleaning process and all, then the building of the temple, every step there is, first the Vastu Puja is done for purifying the land and the Vastu Puja. It's just like a building house, they have special for the temple and they put the
Hmm.
foundation. And from there they do one by one. The Kodimaram is laid, the Balipidam, the
Yeah.
Vana. And for the main Murti is very important. They do a very long Pranapasista Puja where
Hmm.
they infuse life, and like we were talking, they tie the eyes until the final day.
Yes.
When they have
Yes.
done the Abhishekam and all, they open it and then, there's
And
life
there
into
is
it.
a separate ceremony for just to open the eyes.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's very, very elaborate, very technical. I don't know the total technical part because they study this for 5 years, 7 years, or like that, longer than that. There's very specific mantras for each part of it, and it's totally elaborate. And once
hmm.
the murti is consecrated and
Hmm.
life has been infused and the temple has been opened, on that day they
Okay.
do the top
Okay.
Vimanam, the Kalasa Puja, no? And
Hmm.
in the Kalasa, normally they put seeds.
Hmm.
Okay, this is for the great flood. When
Hmm.
flood happens, last time also when flood happened, all the seeds destroyed,
Hmm.
right? So that's why the Vimanam is very high and the Kalasa in the copper or silver container, when they put the natural seeds inside, they last for 12 years. Scientifically, they tested it and they find that it lasts for 12 years. Hence, they do the
Puna
what they
Pradishta.
Pranaprasista and also
Puna
the
Puna Pradishta. Puna Pradishta.
up.
Read
Okay,
it. Redo of
Kumbhavisham,
Kumbhabhishek. Hmm.
Kumbhabhishekam, they do every 12 years to
Hmm.
renew that, all the thing and also the
Energy. Yeah.
infuse energy into it. So it's a very scientific and technological process,
Hmm.
and the Murti is alive. Why I wanted to emphasize on this is because um, people think that every house of worship, from the Western to the Asian, other countries, and the Hindus is same. It's not the same. Their
Hmm.
process is different. It's not that elaborate. Our process is very elaborate and very deep.
Hmm.
And the Prana Prastista ceremony infuses life into the Murti. And then when we do, a temple has been opened, they have to do Abhishekam daily twice,
Hmm.
4:30 in the morning. Abhishekam meaning they bathe the Murti, right? With the minimum the five elements: milk, curd, and then they'll use
Panchamrita.
panchamritam, or and also in the evening they do. That
Hmm.
is to enhance the energy of the murti. If they don't do that, then it's like it's like similar to us. When we bathe, we feel very clean, and then we feel very energetic. So they do that, and all this material they do the abhishekam with absorbs the Shakti of the Murti. And last, what they will do is they will put the Vibhuti on top of the Murti and then take it in the Tamlam, the plate, to give people. Because it's energized. Once they put on the Murti and take it back, it's energized on a daily basis. And Kumkumam also, Kumkum, also they put on the Murti and take it. So it's energized. That's why we then, put the sandalwood, sandal paste, and then we put the Kumkumam and put the Vibhuti to transfer the energy into onto us,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So it's not we are going there, closing our eyes and say, God help me, God do this, God do that. No, we are not. Our worship, puja, I prefer to say puja, not worship also, is we offer the Panchabhutas, the five elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Ap, and Prithvi, in the
Hmm.
form of dupa, the incense,
Mm-hmm.
the frankincense, the what do you call
Dhupam.
this agarbatti, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then the arati is fire. Okay, fire has the when they're doing arati to the murti after the prayers, fire has the capacity to absorb the energy, and then when they give it to us, we take it into our
Mm-hmm.
body.
So that's
Right?
why they do this, right?
Yes, they do
Know that.
this. Or from far they just take like that and put this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not um, ritualistic mumbo jumbo. That is for people who don't understand anything. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because if it's mumbo jumbo, every temple will be different.
Mm-hmm.
Every temple in the world, Hindu temple, follows the same procedure,
Mm-hmm.
right, and the same system,
Mm-hmm.
so that because this one, if you look at quantum physics, the wave particle, right? So now the murti is a particle, is
Mm-hmm.
form, right? So when we do the arati, the heat, it absorbs the wave and then it's
Mm-hmm.
transferred to us and then we take it in and then it's absorbed as a, stays in us as a particle. So
Mm-hmm.
the term for this in physics is called quantum entanglement, right?
Entanglement, yes, yeah,
Entanglement.
yeah.
Entanglement meaning that, how they simply say it is if you think of somebody, like I think of my friend who's
Mm-hmm.
in you say India,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if they're aware enough, they will feel that I'm thinking of them. They'll come to know something, or they'll feel like, oh, I should talk to him. I
Even
will
I
talk.
have that. Even I
Yeah,
have that.
yeah. So our thought processes are not limited by space. They can go
Mm-hmm.
anywhere they want. That powerful it is. That is where the entanglement comes in, and they've proven in scientific research in Europe, right, that this is real, this is true. And same system, we can say that in our temple we have where we receive the energy into us. That's
Okay.
why the temple has been consecrated in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And after we do the, we are doing, while we are doing the puja, we also tell the Purohit our name,
Gotram,
Gotram,
star.
our Rasi, our Nakshatra, right? So why they do that is because if we just say our name, there might be 100,000 people with the same name. But when you go through the Gotra, the Nakshatra, Rasi and all, it becomes more specific that they are saying for us. Maybe it's 1 out
Mm.
of 10,
Right.
right? So it's all calculated for. It's not simply whimsical or somebody woke up in the morning, the priest thought, oh, okay, today I will
Mm.
do it like this. I'll put this flower, I will put this
Mm-hmm.
milk, you know, like that. No such thing. It's all very precise. Even up to the flowers that are given for Vinayagar is different, the garland is different, right? For all the different deities, whatever their favorite.
Bilva
For
Patra for Shiva, then
Bilbar,
Dharma Pullu
exactly.
for Ganesha.
Yeah. So
Mm.
it's all written in the Agama Shastras, which
Mm-hmm.
one for what and all, because they received the knowledge in their meditation, and when they wrote down the Shastras, all of
Mm-hmm.
it was very precisely laid down so that we benefit. So Hindus should go to temple once in the morning and once in the evening, normally, because they lived around the temple. We must understand that.
Yeah.
So by first thing going in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
they clear everything, and then after doing the puja, the names and all mentioned, they will do the circumambulation, no, going around the whole temple,
Garbhagana.
and then they're supposed to sit at the mandapa or very close to the Kodimaram, the Dwajastamba, the Balipidam, or the Mahamandapa. They're supposed to sit there for at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes there, receiving the energy so that all the negativity goes away and they are very positive and strong, which
Mm-hmm.
I experience whenever I go to the temple as much as possible. I sit there and I experience all this from very young age, and I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody will do. After a while, you'll become very peaceful and calm, right? So the reason why we stand near the Bali, Kodimaram and Bali Pidam, and then uh, we are looking inside, close our eyes, and then they're doing the arati and all that is, the longer you close your eyes and stand there, your mind becomes peaceful
Mhm.
and your thoughts stop. The main reason for all the consecration of each of the section up to the final murti in the Garbhagriha
Mhm.
is to bring stillness in our thoughts.
Mhm.
Only when our thoughts stop,
Okay.
then the Shakti or the energy from the Murti, we can merge with ours. So, like the Vahana is our Jivatma,
Mhm. Mhm.
and the Murti is the Paramatma. So, in yoga huge, the union is between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Same in the temple.
Okay.
It's the same Munis and Siddhas and Rishis who gave us the whole architecture and the
Mhm.
whole
Mhm.
yoga. So it's the same thing where once we achieve stillness in our thought systems, it drops to zero,
Mhm.
then our consciousness opens up and the consciousness is the same. The Jivatma and Paramatma share the same consciousness.
So there is a union there.
There's a union there. And whether we are a scholar where we read the Shastras or not, by going to the temple, you can experience that also.
Mhm.
Right? That's the function of the temple, and it has a
Mhm.
lot of merits. It actually removes a lot of bad things from happening for a person. The temple saves them from a lot of things. They won't realize it. So
Mhm.
that's the importance of temple. Nowadays, people don't understand. And then, of course, because of the Shakti there of the Murti, the festivals that are in occurrence to the Sampradaya on the lineage for that particular deity is celebrated throughout the year. Vinayagar temple, they have Vinayagar Chaturthi and all that. Durga temple, they have Navaratri and so many others. Vishnu temple and all. So all are very important. And also Amavasa and Paurnami also very important. Okay, Paurnami, the energy upsurge is so much that you going to temple is fantastic. It's easier for the mind to become still.
Mhm.
Paurnami,
Mhm.
for us to
Mhm.
concentrate on the Murti.
Okay.
And Amavasa also is on the other side. The
Mhm. Mhm.
darkness side is easier also to concentrate in the dark side. So more, if a lot of people are going
Shakti. Shakti
Shakti
tradition.
temples, yeah, their meditation is on the Amavasa is more stronger.
Mhm.
Both. So that's the whole basic thing for a temple structure. Of course, the technicalities are a lot. We don't want to go into it. But for normal people to understand is,
Mhm.
especially the modern youths nowadays,
Mhm.
try going to the temple very regularly and you see a lot of difference in a person's life. You know,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
so this is the spiritual side, the religious side,
Mhm.
and all the rituals are in accordance to what should be done. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
and then one important thing is Navaratri people have forgotten. The first 3 days they do for in the south here they do for Durga Devi for 3 days.
Mhm.
Then they do for Lashmi Devi. Then they do another 3 days for Saraswati Devi. But on the 10th day, the Vijayadashami morning, is a very important ceremony where they introduce the aksharas to children. You know, I don't know if you have experienced it in Kerala. They have
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
US.
It's
I,
very much there in Kerala.
in US, I don't know if they have it. I'm not sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's here. It's some places they have. Some places they do Vijayadashami celebration on the 10th.
Vidyarambham.
Yeah, but they don't do the introduction of the alphabets, akshara, on the rice. The mothers will do with the babies,
We
children,
do.
and
We
all.
do. It's our regular tradition
Yeah,
actually.
in India, yes. I mean here in Malaysia, and then also they used to do one more very significant one. Um, they will take the wick. It'll be black ink like no. After the wick has burned, mixed with some oil, and then they'll write Om in the
Mm.
tongue.
Done.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
important. So here a lot of it is missing
So
nowadays.
what we do in Kerala is like we'll make like in the richer one. What they do is they will make a liquid kind of a thing which is of gold.
Ah, yes, that
What they will
also.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, They used to have, like you said, the goal. They used to use a goal thing to write.
Yeah, right.
It's very,
Yes.
that's placing Saraswati on the tongue.
Right.
Saraswati Devi placing on the tongue is to write the Om on the tongue by
Right.
the
Right.
main Acharya. He will do it.
Mm.
So I hope that they continue this ceremony all over the world. It's very important, for the benefit of the children. So that is on the spiritual side. Okay, there's another important aspect that it's historically it's been forgotten. Okay, and I would like to share it very short one. The question arises, right? Temples are not only religious places. Okay, they were also gurukulams,
Mm.
learning center for children. They were also social center where they have marriages, they have festivals, they have songs and dance performance, Bharatanatyam, everything.
Mm.
Music also.
Music also.
Yeah. Okay. It was the center of a town or city in India those days. It was the center of a town or city.
Mm.
And the most important aspect that has gone missing, okay, because of the invasion, the invaders came in. The temple was our cooperative bank. Everybody has forgotten. It's in history, it's in the culverts. Because when I was doing research for my earlier book and this book, I stumbled upon it and I read elaborately on it. Okay, it's such a fantastic system that it is a cooperative bank. So if they ask when was the first cooperative in the world, you know, it's actually our Hindu temples.
So
Because,
how this bank was managed, Guruji? It was
okay,
managed by the management of the temple, or just straight by the people?
okay, that's a very good question. That's where the secret lies. Okay,
Mhm.
we must look at, from the cheras, from the Sangam period actually. Tamil Nadu South, they have the Sangam period
Mm.
because Madurai temple was built during early Sangam period. Okay, and then it continued through the AD, from BC to AD, until the height of the Cholas. You see,
Mm.
they were Cholas were continuous for 700 years. Okay, one of the longest reigning dynasty in the world. Okay, no other people have been 700 years. The Vodiyars of Mysore were 600 over years. These are the longest in the world recorded history.
Okay.
So the kings are normally, when they become kings, they become Kshatriyas. Okay,
Mhm.
when they become kings, they are known as Kshatriyas. They can be from whatever Varna they have earlier. They become Kshatriyas. So they are warriors, right? Where did the
Mhm.
money come from? Where did the money come from?
Taxes from people, from those days were also had
Yeah,
taxes.
they had taxes.
People.
They had taxes in the terms of goods, rice, everything given,
Mm.
cows and
Mm.
all that.
Mhm.
Okay, but there was a group in Karnataka. Okay, they were called. If you Google it in Wikipedia, in English, it's called the 500 Lords of Aihole. Called the 500 Lords or 500 Swamis of Aihole. I think that's in Kannada. In Telugu,
Mhm.
I think it's called Ayavole.
Uh-huh.
Okay, in Tamil Nadu, it's called Ainuruvar, the
I
500
know. Yeah.
Lords. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What this group was, it
Mm-hmm.
comprised the chiefs, the chiefs of the lords of
Okay.
500 jati groups. It comprised the chief or the lords of the 500 jati groups.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I like to mention Ayavolu. Ayavolu, I think it's Telugu,
Mm.
Kannada. Then
Kannada,
Aihole is
Telugu. Yeah.
okay. Aya is equal to Arya, honorable
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Okay.
Okay. Aya in Kannada and Tamil is
Mhm.
equivalent to Arya, means the noble person.
Mhm.
They were given a higher status for what they did. So these
Mhm.
500 lords of Ayavole are the chieftains of the
Mhm.
500 Jati groups
Mhm.
joined together,
Mhm.
who supported the kings of that day for
Mhm.
trade. So these were the finances of Hindu society.
Okay.
These were the finances or bankers of the Hindu society. So
Mhm.
what they did was, together they built the
Mhm.
temple.
Okay.
From the temple donations that the whole society did, and they
Mhm.
themselves put money into it, from the temple donations, they will take the money and they
Mhm.
will loan it to themselves
Okay.
at a higher percentage.
Mhm.
If I'm not wrong, it was 12% those days, early days, 10% or 12%. We're talking
Mhm.
2000 years ago.
Okay.
So the whole society came together, built the temple, and they put money into the temple. And these
Mhm.
merchants borrowed the money from the temple at a fixed interest rate. And then they used that money to build nagarams.
Mhm.
Nagarams are city states.
Yeah.
So, according to history, these are the finances. That means the
Mhm.
whole 500 Jati group came together with the
Mhm.
patronage of the king. So, they were the funders of trade to the whole of
Okay.
Southeast Asia under the Vodayas, under the Chera, Chola, Pandya,
Mhm.
Pallavas. This was
Mhm.
a system, banking system that has been there for centuries, that made
Mhm.
them trade with Southeast Asia and also, do a lot of things, build ships and everything. And
Mhm.
they made sure they gave back the money properly.
Okay.
Okay. There was no known hanky panky. There's no nothing on the culvert regarding that,
Mhm.
right? So the temple is a very important bank.
Center.
When this was broken was, first it was broken by the Bahmani Sultanate, Maharashtra and northern Karnataka. They
Mhm.
controlled that area and they came into Andhra and they took over Tirupati temple.
Mhm.
Okay, they didn't demolish Tirupati temple, they let it go, but they put jizya tax on it. So Tirupati temple had to pay tax to them. That was the Bahmani Sultanate. After Bahmani Sultanate, the British took over. They were 15th, 16th century, in the late 16th and 17th century early, the British took over. And in
Mhm.
historical records, Tirupati temple, when they took over, it was 1670 or 80s
Mhm.
until 1743 or something. Okay.
Okay.
Um, the annual tax they got from Tirupati was 25,000 pounds.
Those days.
Those days. That was
Mm.
500 years ago.
Yeah.
The British took 25,000. Not the British, I mean the British East India Company.
Mhm.
That time was East India Company. It was not the British government. East India Company took 25,000 pounds annually for that 30, 40 years until the missionaries church in England protested because they didn't want them to meddle in pagans affairs, and it
Mhm.
was wrong for them to take money from them because they are not supposed to believe in the paganistic religion.
Religion.
Yeah, so they stopped them from taking money from
Mm.
the Tirupati temple. But what had happened is that due to the Bahmani Sultanate and the East India Company doing this,
Mhm.
right? The 500 lords of Aihole or Ayavole,
Mhm.
Ainuruvar, and the Jati problem in, inserted by the British. It started that
Mhm.
time itself. They broke the Jati because they wanted to convert them. They
Mhm.
caused a lot of fights, because these Jati groups control different trades. So
Mhm.
it's always territorial fight and monetary problems among them. If they
Okay.
join together, they build a city. even
Mm-hmm.
even to the extent, the guys who lay drains, who dig
Mm-hmm.
drains, they were
Mm-hmm.
also part of this 500
Yes. Yes.
group, because they were needed to build the city,
City planning and all. Yeah.
city planning and all. So it should, for me, it should go back to the Indus Valley, because Indus
Mm-hmm.
Valley was standalone cities. I think they found 5,000 or 6,000
Right.
cities,
Right.
all standalone, self-built,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the same process should have been there, because funding would have been the
Okay.
most important factor to build
Mm-hmm.
something. No? They had
Okay.
proper. So same here, and they broke the Jati groups so that they couldn't join together. And
Mm-hmm.
what the British did was they allowed, you see, those Jati groups who went fighting against them, had caused wars against them, because these were powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
They were all, exterminated and put on the criminal tribes act and were made jobless, made landless and everything. So they became very poor. For almost 100 years, they did that. But those Jati groups who had the wealth and money, and then who agreed to not fight with them and who kind of supported them, let them
Mm-hmm.
rule, they were given smaller land estates where they live to control that area. So this is where the Naikas who rule Tanjavur, out of
Mm-hmm.
this big group, there's a small group, and then the Rayans or Rayas, and then there were Muttayas, a few smaller groups, the chieftains, who were given parcels of land to rule, and this 500 group was broken totally. And that is why, after that, during the British rule, this was East India Company. After that, the British government took over, right? After the 1857 Independence War, from England, they created laws and put
Mm-hmm.
all the temples under the state government.
Okay.
They broke the cooperative forever, so that this cooperative cannot fund themselves anymore and support any kings. So the kings
I
cannot
think
come
that
out.
is still followed in Kerala and all. The
Oh,
major
whole India.
temples are all there was some board
Understand the
ruled
old
by.
law. The British did this so that these guys cannot group together again and have
Mm-hmm.
money and fund the kings and go for war against them. So they put all the temples. It's like, they come in and take all the banks and put under their ownership, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't give you access to your account. So
Right.
you cannot do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very important historical factor, the social side of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
So the temple was the central nexus for Hindu society, and even now, my prayers and my suggestion to Hindus is that
Mm-hmm.
start a cooperative, start a cooperative, and for at least 500 people or 500 families together, and
Mm-hmm.
take over a temple. Then they will see their finances change. Because cooperative, I'm talking in the context also in regards to Malaysia. You see, in Malaysia, all the temples are actually private built by Hindu people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the government, they register a society, an
Mm-hmm.
organization under the register of societies. It's a society where a group of people, about 7 to 10 people only, and
Mm-hmm.
then they manage the temple. It's called the Temple Management Board.
Board. Yeah.
So it's more like private run, where it doesn't benefit the society much except for religious matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm suggesting that they change these societies into cooperatives
Mm-hmm.
so that it'll have a more dynamic business, and then the money they collect, they can do a lot of wonders, education and business and all.
Yeah.
Go back to the olden ways. And in India also, they have to go back and take back the temples, because that's where our money is
Stuck.
stuck. The government should not touch our money.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Right?
is a main problem which Kerala is facing right now. I don't know about other
Tamil Nadu
states.
also,
Yeah.
Andhra also,
Mm.
almost 90% of India. I think Uttar Pradesh, They gave it
Mhm.
back to the people. And there's one more state. I'm not sure which state.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Yeah, Guruji, for time limits, we just have to
Yep.
cut it here. So we can talk about
We-
this the whole day. So, so today we have done the temple structures. Maybe we will come back with Dasha Mahavidya or whichever it is left
Yeah.
from your
Sure.
chapters in our next episode. So thanks for your time, Guruji.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very much.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.